Hi there, my name is Tim Lee. Welcome to Legacy Art Studio, my channel where I like to share my vlog adventures of caricature in a very unlikely place, and that would be Great Falls, Montana. I've been doing this now full-time for about 3 years, but I've been doing it in my life full-time and part-time since 2008. I used to live in Orlando, Florida, where I drew caricatures at some of the major theme parks that you absolutely know. And now I'm in the most unlikely place for caricature and having a ball. This is my full-time gig. Between this and videography, this is what I do. And it is so much fun. First, before I start heading to our state capital, Helena, Montana, where this caricature gig is going to be for a wedding, I got to stop and get some gas. All right, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I like sharing with my fellow nerds. So check this out. For that last clip, I filmed with this. There's a suction cup mounted to my window. That's really cool. That worked really well. And it's even got a little line here to let you know when it is safe or not to hang something on it. That's really cool. So getting all fueled up here at Love's, there's 2 snacks that I always get when I go on the road. One of them are Nerds, but it's like the gummy nerd with the nerds on the outside. I forget what they actually call those. A buddy of mine reminded me that they're kind of like the everlasting gobstopper from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And then the other thing I always have to have is a full throttle blue agave energy drink. Neither of which are good for my health, nor are they good for my diet, which I have been on since January. I'm down about 30 odd pounds, but when you take a road trip, you gotta have some fun. All right, armed and dangerous with the good food that I really should not be eating for any reason, but you know, traditions are kind of important when it comes to knocking anxiety. I personally find that getting traditional food for travel grub, really does help just kind of set the mood. And considering that I have an hour of driving, I try to listen to a book on tape or something like that. The reality is the level of anxiety that I feel in those moments of silence of driving and all this sort of stuff to where I'm going just makes it worse. I'm ADHD. It's very, very, very easy for me to get stuck in the anxiety and the fear of how things like this are going to go. So I'm going to enjoy some Tostitos. I guess now they call them roller grillers or something like that. And get on the road. It's going to be a beautiful drive through the mountains of Montana, and I will be happy to show you a little bit of my home state. I've lived here for 8 years and never get tired of the mountain views. Bit of weightlifting. You don't realize realize how much paper weighs. All right, so far so good. Beautiful little venue here, shades of green in Helena, Montana. Now my job is to get all my gear set up so that I am out of the way, not being a distraction as much as possible. Being over-prepared is what I do best. Okay, so got everything, all of mine set up, so I'm good. One slightly unfortunate scenario, and that's that I do not see any kind of a changing room. I think I see porta potties, but not a changing room or any kind of, place where I can change my clothes. So it looks like I'm going to be doing that in the car. Here we go, fingers crossed. So yes, while I could ask around, bug people in charge, and see if they know of a place where I can change, my one rule of thumb is to be the least problem of their night. They don't need to be answering my questions. They don't need to be helping me. They need to be focusing on the wedding, on the bride and the groom. I'll figure out all my stuff on my own. That is my main rule of thumb. They deserve for me to be the easiest part of their night. That's why I'm changing in the car. One additional note, very unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure I got bit, like right square at the back of my head there, which means we got mosquitoes. So my deodorant, aftershave for this evening is going to be this lovely DEET-free lemon eucalyptus stuff, which I feel like it's really nice to have a proper smell, like a nice smell, so that people want to come up and stuff. To smell bug spray, even in this form, where it's not supposed to be like smelling of bug spray, bit annoying. But you know what? I'm not going to get bit tonight and spoil the night for everyone, especially myself, as I'm drawing, because of bugs. Okay, PG-13 part of my change of clothes is done. So I'll do the rest here. At the moment, I'm a little too focused of what I am doing to feel the anxiety, but I know that in a little bit here, it's going to come back around and get me again. Mainly when we're in the wedding point portion of this. That will be when I begin to feel the weight again, when they do their vows and stuff like that. I've seen the venue. I haven't shown you guys yet, but I got a lay of the land. All right. Bow tie. Good thing I got this tiny little mirror to see what I'm doing. I'm going to be the man in black tonight. I thought this would be a fun look. Tonight is a semi-casual wedding. Well, no, semi-formal wedding. So, black bow tie, black shirt, black pants, black shoes, black suspenders even. So I am the man in black. And after looking at how the groomsmen are dressed, I have a shirt. I didn't bring it, but I have a shirt that would have somewhat matched their look. So I did ask for what colors were wedding colors. They didn't mention that, which is perfectly fine, because this is gonna set me apart and at the same time keep me in the background. I like black a lot because it's very formal looking and it kind of hides you away. The nice thing about the gigs that are slightly further away is I usually bring my trailer, which is awesome, because then I don't have to worry about my changing room situation. All right, ready to rock and roll as best as I can get. I'll give you a quick little tour of our location and get ready to rock and roll. my friends, quick mini tour of our little event today. Special wedding for Ethan and Toni. So here's this beautiful area where they're going to be doing their vows. It's going to be great. I really like this because this is in alignment with my caricature area that's right over here. There's some seating area over here. And right over here is the bar. That's where everyone's going to be. And the good thing is as soon as they walk out of there, they're going to see the caricature booth. So I was going to be busy, very busy, but it's going to be a good night tonight. So at this point in time, the wedding has begun. The vows are being done, and I'm on the clock. Well, not technically, I'm not on the clock officially, but I'm on my own clock. Because I like to try to find ways to go the extra mile. Now, this is not something I promise my clients. This is something I attempt to do as a gift. And that's to try and draw the bride and groom and have a finished caricature for them as quickly as possible, especially if I can beat the end of the ceremony and basically present it to them at the end of the ceremony. A nice little extra surprise that they aren't expecting. This service was very, very quick, but it did allow me just a few minutes to bust out this caricature. Now, I didn't have any chance to warm up. Warming up is pretty important, but we didn't have any chairs yet at this moment until just a few moments before I started recording. And so this is also technically my warm-up caricature for the evening, and it's kind of easy to see if you look at the first caricature I did of the couple versus a second one that I did directly after. So I took some pictures of them because I like to spend a few minutes with the bride and the groom separately. I don't want them to be communicating to each other. I want to get their stories of how they met, what makes them different, what do they like about each other, what do they do with each other, do they like to go camping, do they like to go for walks, do they run together, what are the passions that they enjoy together as a couple, and then I use all that information as blackmail to come up with an interesting caricature that they would appreciate. So in talking with Toni and Ethan, I found that they are polar opposites, but in very good ways, because obviously opposites attract. But one thing that I connected with Toni on is that we both have Great Danes. Zoe has been my little girl now for about 5 years. She's 150 pounds, and Toni and Ethan both absolutely love their Great Dane. So it was a lot of fun to think about ways to include the Great Dane in things. And then as I talked with Ethan, we joked about the idea of our wives wanting to have farms. And he's like, oh, it's even worse for me. Toni wants to have a llama. And I'm like, perfect. There's some more blackmail that I can use. And so in their final caricature, the second version that I did, I included a little sign in the background because if you don't have a lot of room, there's little ways to add little details. I think I put like llama store in the background or something like that, and he got a kick out of that. So as this ceremony was going, I'm on the clock. I'm racing as quickly as I can to bust out this first caricature. So I'm going to speed this part of the video up so you guys can see this in time lapse. If you want to see long versions, I'm going to be releasing each caricature individually that I drew when the cameras were recording, and you're going to get to see either sped up versions or long form versions of them where you can see it being done. Each person took between 6 to 7 minutes. Most of my caricatures that I did this night were all couples, so each one was about 12 to 14 minutes, depending, and I was racing as quickly as I could while still making sure that each of these individuals had a great conversation with me, tried to keep them laughing as well as I could. And you'll see as we continue on here, there were a bunch of people who deeply enjoyed their final results. So let's get in with this a little bit further. Let's speed this guy up and get him done a little quicker and get on with our story. If you've watched this far, do me a favor, hit that like button. It means a lot, helps with the algorithm, and helps us get the word out that, hey, Tim Lee Caricatures out of Great Falls, Montana, they're doing some good things. And it really helps because Toni apparently found me through our YouTube, which is very exciting. So thank you so much, Toni. Hope that you're enjoying this video too.
first one of the night. This is my warm up for you guys.
Oh man.
But you can go show that. You can go show that to Tony for me.
Oh baby, that's awesome.
Have fun.
Thank you. Love it.
That's the warm up. They get better as the night goes on.
Oh my god. At least I got a tattoo. Oh, thank you.
You wanna...
Hi, Jeff.
Ethan, you can leave it with me. Yeah, oh yeah, you betcha. I got you taken care of all night.
Well, the bride and groom seemed to like that caricature. I, however, did not, because it was my first warm-up, and that wasn't anyone's fault. We didn't have enough chairs to be able to let me kind of work a little bit ahead of time, but I was able to do that first caricature, and I knew if I could have a second chance, I'd do one a little better. And so, my awesome wedding planner, Sarah, she held everyone at bay for just a brief minute longer while I quickly knocked out a second caricature, because I knew once people started to come up to get caricatures done, we would create this very long line and I would not have a second chance to draw them, or a third chance for that matter. So I wanted to make one that I would feel reasonable with, that I could give to them, and I wanted to make sure I got their dogs, their bulldog, and their Great Dane in there. They had some cats that I didn't include there. They had a llama sign in there, well, the llama sign that I wanted to put in there, and so I just wanted to put a little bit of extra effort into this caricature. They're the people of honor, they're paying the bill, so I wanted to give them something just a little bit more special than that first effort. Now, in saying that, I didn't get to put the detail into the dogs the way that I would have liked, and that's just the nature of the game. We're down to speed. We need to make sure that we're taking care of all the guests. That's the real reason I'm there. This is, in my opinion, my gift to them, and I just really wanted to go that little bit of extra mile. So I was very thankful for Sarah, who held everyone at bay for just a few extra minutes while I busted out this caricature. I ran off here because I actually wanted to go over to Sarah to see if she had reference photos of those dogs. Thankfully she did, and so I was able to come back and make those dogs, while in a messy form, look slightly more like themselves than doing generic pets. And sometimes you just have to do that. It really does depend on the scenario. But this is the wedding couple. I wanted something a little extra special for them, so a little bit more time on my line work, a little bit more time on my idea, and it turned out much better than the first, in my opinion. And could there be more that I could do with it, and could it be better? Absolutely. But you get down to the wire, and that's the nature of caricature. So, continuing to push ahead here. Now, I'm going to be showing you a whole bunch of caricatures here in very quick time-lapse form that just show you a few of the people that I drew. Sometimes the cameras were turned off, sometimes things didn't go quite according to plan with my technologies, and so I didn't record every single one. Not to mention, I had a grand total of over 51 caricatures. I'm still remembering people after the fact now where I was like, oh, I don't think I included that in the 51. I think I'm somewhere between 51 to 55 people that I drew, each one taking between 6 to 7 minutes per person. And so, thanks to the bride's father. He comes up, really, really nice guy. He wants his chance to be drawn with his wife. He sees this ginormous line, and he doesn't want anyone to be let down. So he comes over to me and he goes, listen, how long did they pay you for? And I said 3 hours. And he goes, you keep going. Here's an extra hour. Just let me know after the fact. And frankly, I lost track. I kept going and going and going, and he would run over and talk with me and laugh and joke with me and heckle me, which is always such a compliment, because when you heckle, that means you like the piece that's sitting in front of you, and that was so much fun. And he was just a great guy, and he covered the rest of the night. Literally, we went from 3 hours to 7 hours of work, and I only stood up just a couple brief times. They offered me some food. I hopped up. I grabbed literally a few leaves of salad, and I'm not even joking. Put a little bit of dressing on them, and then within 5 minutes, if not less, I'm running back to the booth to do my next person. It was literally that fast, and they felt guilty about that, and I said, no. This is how caricaturing works. I'm the first person here. I'm the last person out. This is how it always happens. As long as people are willing to pay for it, this is how it goes. and I put my best foot forward. Now, frankly, I should take more breaks, and I really don't. So for the past 2 days, my shoulders have been pretty sore because 7 hours of straight drawing with maybe a maximum of about 30 minutes of taking a breather, and that breather is literally running around trying to find the next couple that I'm drawing because I don't want them to wait in line. I don't want them to miss out on that whole night. I've had people stand in my line for an entire night at a wedding, and it's not great. That's not what they're there for. They're there to be celebrating the bride and groom, and I wanted them to have that chance. So, finished this up, and then I go and present it. Now, of course, I didn't take the cameras with me, but you can hear the audio in the background here as I hand it to them with a little bit better result that they liked much more, in my opinion.
Of course. And then we're ready to rock and roll. I don't have it in my hand. We'll see what you think. You'll think of it.
Oh, that's so cute. Give photo. Yeah, our bulldog is missing, but this is.
Oh, is he?
His pre.
Oh, I'll have to give him a patch.
Yeah,
funny.
we got another caricature done, and we were like, he's missing one eye, and he put a patch on him.
Really?
Yes,
Well,
but that's perfect.
natural cause. Which eye?
I'm frankly glad she said that it was perfect because I completely forgot to. I was so busy doing the other 51 plus people, I completely forgot about the eye patch. Toni, if you're watching this, I'm sorry about that.
So much better. You got a call. Carly, I heard you were just crying and crying. Girl, you cried. You're so beautiful.
Oh, I forgot your tattoo too, but that's okay. That one's a little loud, so.
Thank you. I know. It goes so good. Really good. Yeah.
I don't know what you think about this one, but
Ooh, the llama farm. Okay. And we got freaking Bono in Boston. That's great. Oh, I like Tony's teeth too. That's great. That's awesome. Tony. Oh,
yeah, she's still high.
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Tearing it up out there, man.
Oh
Has
no,
anybody
now we're
been
gonna
over
get.
yet?
That's gonna start right now.
Okay,
Wait and
perfect.
see. There's gonna get a line there any minute.
My boy Cody.
Good. What?
Do you want to take a picture with Nancy?
Are you ready for the announcement?
We're ready.
We got two over there from Toni Caricatures.
Hi.
How many can you do at a time?
I like to do 2 at a time.
Okay.
That's the quickest way to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, my friends, I had an awesome time at this wedding. Humongous thanks to Sarah, the wedding planner. Humongous thanks to Toni and Ethan for having me out to their wedding. For their parents for supporting the extra cost for me to be out there for an additional 4 hours above and beyond what was already reserved. And for all the amazing people that I got to draw that night. It was a ton of fun. So I'm just going to play through a whole bunch of these. This is several hours of footage that I've crushed into 5 minutes for you. If you want to see individual reactions of some of these, well, you're going to have to get subscribed to my YouTube channel because I'll be releasing a couple of these as individual full videos where you can watch me draw them either in a much slower time lapse or you can watch me draw them in real time and maybe even hear some of the conversation with the clients because I want you to hear some of the comedy and some of the banter and things like that as well that make caricaturing so much fun. This is all about relationships. By the time I start the caricature and by the time I finish the caricature, I have created a relationship with each one of these people. And it is my goal and desire that by the time they're done, they've laughed their brains out, maybe they've even cried a little, they've focused on the joys of their lives, had very little time to focus on anything else, and just really enjoyed the experience and then got dropped an awesome caricature at the end. So I want you to enjoy all these different ones. Now, if you're seeing videos like this one here that don't have their faces, either the camera is out or I'm drawing someone I'm assuming is a minor and I want to make sure we treat them with respect and hide them from the interwebs. And so we do that by not showing their faces while I'm drawing them, but at least you can still see the drawings of them that do look like them, but certainly can't really use it in a police photo, so you know what I mean. Needless to say, folks, if you enjoyed this, it would mean a lot to me if you'd hit that like button and leave a comment. I love answering your questions, and it doesn't matter if it's how do I get into caricature, or how do I make a business out of it, or will you do my wedding, or will you do my special event. It doesn't matter what questions they are. I deeply appreciate all your comments. It also helps with the algorithm, and that means we get this out further. Apparently, I love this fact, Toni says she found me through YouTube. That makes me so happy. I'm very excited about that, and I want the opportunity for you guys to have the same opportunity. I'm willing to travel pretty far to do it. You got to pay the travel costs, but I try to make everything as affordable as possible, and we really gear things and flex things to meet your needs, and I try to meet your budget as best I can. And so I would look forward to hearing from you. You can look me up at timleecaricatures.com, or you can look me up at legacystudioproductions.net, and you can see a couple of the other angles of my business, like my videography side of my business. And no matter what, I'm always playing with my cameras. I bring them with me to play with them while I'm doing these kinds of gigs. And of course, I'm just living my life right now and having a great time. Praise the Lord that this is the life I'm getting to live right now. Humongous thanks to my wife for supporting me in this time, coming home at 2 a.m. exhausted from 7 hours of drawing, and the first thing she does is she gives me a whole bunch of gifts. By the way, if you go to my YouTube channel or my Facebook, you can see one of those gifts that is perfect for caricature artists. That's going to help you make it much easier to pack in and pack out your gear from an event. I'm telling you, I really love it. I'm looking forward to using it in just a few days when I go do yet another wedding. And if I take my cameras with me, because I don't take them to every event, I will absolutely give you a little bit of a story and show you how it works. And of course, you can go check out that video and see what I think of it now, as I packed all my gear into it and literally was able to put away 2 boxes of materials into one single kit. It's absolutely awesome. So yes, I'm being very uncertain of what I'm saying so that it forces you to go and see what on earth I'm talking about. But I hope that you enjoyed this. To Toni and to Ethan, may God bless you richly in your marriage. Congratulations to you both, to your dogs, to your cats, and to your future. And it was such a pleasure to be around you, be around your parents, and feel the spirit of your family. It was beautiful, and you two are beautiful, and it was a beautiful wedding. Thank you for having me. It means a lot. And of course, it was a ton of fun getting to draw your family. All right, folks, keep it crispy. 1 Tim 4:12. God bless you, and I'll see you next time right here on Legacy Art Studio, or on Facebook at Tim Lee Caricatures by Tim Lee. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.